days has seen a barbaric bombing of the tiny little enclave, Palestinian enclave, which is Gaza. So far we have around 300 people killed.
An eerie silence as we drove through Gaza City at night. It's Thursday evening. Usually these streets would be bustling. Not tonight. The usual signs of life replaced by those of destruction. We went to spend the night with Nader and Shireen Abu Sido and their 5 children. They live in Gaza City, an ordinary family in an ordinary part of town, living in extraordinary times.
I have never seen days like this in all my time in Gaza. Of course, there have been airstrikes before, but never so continuous with this intensity. As a father, I want to protect my children. When there are strikes, I talk to them, tell them it will be okay. They are so scared, so I just sit close to them until it stops.
For the first time in 3 days, there was electricity in the house. A chance for the family to see in full what's happening all around them. The effects of the noises they hear all day and all night. While the rest of the world watches the images of this war in horror, the people here, this is...
I'm trying to squeeze them in so we can use this.
Stop the killing, Israel! We know you can hear us!
The whole world is silent. Nobody's saying anything to Israel. That's why they're killing everybody. So we should say something. So we came here today to tell them that we are angry and the people, they should make a move and stop the killing.
I honor and I salute your emotions. But brothers and sisters, we are here to send a message.
Back in ancient history about Rwanda, but right now the persecution of the Palestinians is one of the worst examples of human rights abuse I know, because the Palestinians...
You're talking about right now, you're not talking about, say,
I'm not talking about ancient history, no.
Oh, Rwanda wasn't ancient history, it was just a few years ago.
You can talk about Rwanda if you want to. I want to talk about Palestine. What is being done to the Palestinians now is horrendous in their own territory by the occupying powers, which is Israel. They've taken away all the basic human rights of the Palestinians, as was done in South Africa against the blacks. And I make it very plain in this book that the apartheid is not based on racism, as it was in South Africa, but it's based on the desire of a minority of Israelis to acquire land that belongs to the Palestinians and to retain that land, and then to exclude the Palestinians from their own property and subjugate them so that they can't arouse and demonstrate their disapproval of being robbed of their own property. That's what's happening in the West Bank. And the people in this country, in America, never know about this. They never discuss this. There's no debate about it. There's no criticism of Israel in this country. And in Israel, there is an intense debate about the issues in this book. In this country, no.
I agree. I mean, I wish we had that sort of debate that they're having in Israel. I wish we had that in the United States. But give us a sort of sense, how much of the responsibility for the conflict, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, do you think belongs to the Israelis for their tactics like seizing land and occupying territory that didn't belong to them? How much of it is the responsibility of the Palestinians for their suicide terror attacks and their bombings within Israel proper?
Well, as a matter of fact, the basic cause of the conflict is a sustained occupation of other people's land by the Israelis. And this is a direct violation of United Nations resolutions. It's a direct violation of the International Quartet's roadmap. It's a direct violation of the commitments that leaders of Israel have made in the past at Camp David when I was president and in Oslo, promising that Israel would withdraw from occupied territories. They have failed to do so. In response to that, and I'm not excusing them, there have been acts of violence. As a matter of fact, though, Hamas, the #1 accused persons of violence, have not committed an act of suicide bombing that caused an Israeli life now since August of 2004. And I hope that they won't do that anymore. Other participants of the Palestinian society, smaller ones, have committed some atrocities. But the loss of life in the entire occupied territories has been horrendous and has been caused by
is absolutely unprecedented. We have an opening now to tell the greater American public the truth about the activities of our government, what goes on in our name with our tax dollars, and how we can stop it. And the one thing that I would ask of the Congress and of our president-elect is that we don't need to send not one more dime and not one more bomb to Israel.
We pray to God every single day for the speedy and peaceful dismantlement of the state of Israel. Then we can once again coexist as we have for hundreds of years. We have older rabbis who will testify lived in the old state of Jerusalem, in the old state, in the old city of Jerusalem, in the old city. They lived door by door. This rabbi lived in the old city of Jerusalem. Before 1948, he'll tell you how he lived, coexisted with all the Arab neighbors, how they babysat each other's children when they went to Yom Kippur. When the women went to Yom Kippur on the fast day, the Muslim neighbors babysat the children, the most precious objects they gave to them to protect. How could that be if they're our enemies, mortal enemies? Because they're not. It's not a religious conflict. That's a Zionist ploy of accusing everybody of being anti-Semitic. You want peace? You want to have a conference here of peace? Step back and look and read the facts. Not the facts that's been misconstrued by the Zionist propaganda. The facts that are realities. The facts on the ground. How we've been living for hundreds of years in Yemen, in Morocco, in Tunisia, in Palestine, in Egypt. What Arab land have not Jewish people been living together with Muslims without any human rights groups? Tell me what land the Jews did not live in harmony with the Muslims. In Iran, we have over 25,000 Jews there, thank God. Why? Because this is not a religious conflict. It's purely because of a political movement, a relatively new movement, which is antithetical, contradictory to the Jewish religion of thousands of years. Judaism is spirituality, a religion of compassion to emulate God. Zionism must be created.
It's in Gaza. And I'm going there again on the 4th of July with Ron Kovic and maybe 1,000 citizens of the United States of America to lead a convoy of 500 American vehicles flying American flags, and we intend to break the siege of Gaza all over again. And on the 4th of October, make a note, on the 4th of October, Viva Palestina will lead another British convoy, twice, 3 times, 4 times the size of the last one.